Hello everybody. Here's the long version 2, moving up from like an acrylic lock or any white belt lock to like a yellow belt. The biggest recommendation is always like a Master Lock 141, has a lot of feedback. The one thing you're going to want to do though is you're going to want to get away from bottom of the keyway tensioning tools. If you put this in the bottom of the keyway, it won't slip out. It's a lot more comfortable. I get it. But if you look, I don't have much room to get in here to the pins. I have to kind of rock the tool forward and get underneath them. And you can accidentally set pins like that, especially like security bottom pins. Bottom of the keyway is normally reserved for raking. Later on, in your locksport journey, when you get into harder locks, you can use them as a platform to pick off of in paracentric keyways, but otherwise not highly recommended. Go ahead and start getting used to top of the keyway turning tools. They are a pain in the ass to get used to. They have ergos like this that are bent and straight flat ones. You can bend the flat one if you want, but it depends on the metal. Some of them will break, but most of them will bend. In fact, I think I bent that one myself, so they're not uniform at all. But you can buy ergos, that's fine. Some people sell them, but anyway, you have a lot more room with an ergo turner in the keyway. And then I don't have to worry about accidentally setting any kind of bottom pins. So you have a lot more room to play with. Make sure you select the thickest one that you can fit in that keyway. So this is a 40 thousandths. I know that a 50 will not work. It's too thick. A 32 thousandths, too much play. Same thing with a 25 thousandths. Top of the keyway tensioning, very hard to get used to. All right, you're going to want to roll left or out. You're going to roll in too much. It's going to come out of the keyway. Your hands aren't used to using it if you've been using a bottom of the keyway. Give it about an hour of actual picking, 5-minute practice every day. Maybe 10 minutes. Maybe just, get the hour out of the way. And eventually, you'll have it and it won't bother you, and it'll be a lot more comfortable. And you'll have a lot more room in the bottom of the keyway. A lot more room to pick, a lot more room to do stuff. Once you get used to the top of the keyway, you're not going to want to go back. Tensioning. You want to tension to the point that the pin feels stiff and doesn't really want to move up. You got a springy here. This is springy, very springy. Pin number 1. It's very stiff, doesn't want to move. So that's what we call a binding. And you're going to go ahead and get it up in there. Got a nice click out of 1. Give a little jiggle test. It's nice and loose. We're good. We move on to the next one. The thing that'll help you with that is start learning. I don't know what the proper grip is, but I like having my middle finger on the pick itself, my thumb and index on the handle. And then you go through and you start feeling, and I'll place like the tip of my finger on the lock. And then as I'm moving through, I move like this as I'm picking. Then I can rock my finger up and down. And you'll want to go through here and feel where the pins are at. This pin 1, this is pin 2, pin 3, pin 4. And then you can kind of feel the springs. If you got a death grip on the pick, you're not going to feel the springs. Lighten up, nice and easy. Go through here. I can feel the springs on 1, 2, 3, and 4. And you can see 4 is pushing my pick. Pin's coming back down, pushing my pick. Nice and springy, okay? Take your time, learn where the pins are, learn how they feel when they're springy, because if there's a springy pin when you're going through here, tension on it, that means you don't want to mess with that pin. You want one that's binding, that feels hard, like it's not going to budge. Tension is going to be different for every lock. It's going to be different for every person. The way I tension is going to be different from the way you tension. The lock is going to have a lot to do with it. The way you pick is going to have a lot to do with it. If you're bending picks, you're tensioning too hard. If you can't feel any pins binding, you're tensioning too softly. You're going to have to work on that. Most of the problem with picking a lock, even for me, is tensioning. I have 2 locks that I'm working on now. One likes a medium to heavy tension to get some of the pins to set, and the other one takes a very light tension to the point I think I'm going to actually have to float pick it, but I'm not sure. But this one, 141, we're going to do a medium to heavy tension. Actually, I say light to medium. And we'll come through 1, it's binding, stiff, there's no spring, it's not moving. So we're going to go ahead and pull it up. Do hear a nice little click. It's not always going to be that loud. It's not going to always be that pronounced. That's why the Master Lock 141 is a recommended lock for yellow belt, because it has a lot of feedback. We'll go to number 2. All right, number 2 feels like it very springy, like we don't have a tension tool on, so we're going to skip that one. We're going to go with 3. 3 is binding. All right, we've got a little counter rotation. So that's when the core tries to move over because of a security pin, most likely a spool pin, and you'll have to lighten up your grip when it does that. You got to let it, come up and right up just a little bit, like your foot on a clutch. Okay, clutch, gas. And we're going to go to number 4. It's binding. All right, now we're open. We didn't even have to touch number 2. It is possible we set 2 just by going through. So we'll do it again. Nice medium tension. We're going to get number 1 set. Number 1 is set. Number 2 is springy. Number 3 binding. Nice click on 3, 4, and we're open. If you're tensioning too hard, you're going to mar the keyway a little bit. I don't know if the camera's picking it up, but right here there's a little bit of marring, because I was trying to make a different video where it would show that you're just really cranking down on it. Don't do that. You're going to mar the keyway. If you're doing that, it doesn't need that much tension, I promise you. You could probably do this with very light tension. I like medium on these because it gives a lot of feedback for those pins when they set. So you get a nice little click. Let's see if we can avoid 2 at all cost. 3, 4. There we go. Now 2 comes into play. Oh no, we've overset something. And then reset. That's okay. A lot of practice. 1, 3, 4. It's feeling nasty. 1, 2, springy. 3, 2, 4. Oh, that brings up another good point. If you know a lock always picks 1, 3, 4, and 2, like this one has been doing, it will change. It can change. Tolerances will change a little bit, or a little bit of picking you're doing and rubbing the lock, the pins into the Bible of the lock can change the order in which it binds. If you put any kind of lubricant inside of here, that could change the way it binds. And what happens is people get used to, okay, it's 1, 3, 4, 2. Why can't I pick it? Why is it not opening? I've picked this 1,000 times. Tolerances could have changed. So you need to pick it like it's the first time you've ever picked a lock. And if it's a removable core and you can change the pins around and rekey it, do so. That way you don't remember, the order of the picking. And that could throw you off. You could pick the lock 100 times easy, and now you can't pick it at all. You cannot get it open. This happens all the time, and that's why. So let's see if it's still the same order. 1, 1, 2's loose, 3's binding, 4, and we're open again with 2. So it changes a little bit. I guarantee if I put some lubricant in there, it will change. The Bible, by the way, is this little area of a lock where the pin's right up into. Cutaways, acrylic locks. Like I said, they're not going to feel the same as a real lock. They're great for visuals, but don't use them to, you know, learn how to feel for pins. It's not going to work. So try Master Lock 141. Let me know how it goes for you. If you got any questions, leave them in the comments. If you liked the video, hit the thumbs up and subscribe. Thank you.